Hello, I'm Peter Carter doing a little video on the evening of March the 14th, 2019. And I'm doing the video in support of the protests around the world that I'm told are happening tomorrow by the children and young people who are protesting the lack of action to protect their future under global climate disruption by striking from their classes at school. And I'm here to tell you it's not only a valid thing, it's a great thing, and it's an essential thing for the future of all of us. And the reason is their governments worldwide are doing worse than nothing in the case of global climate disruption. It is a terrible abuse to the children today all around the world, in wherever regions they live, and to all future generations. This is a terrible, terrible thing that our governments are not doing. It's the grossest negligence ever, because the national emissions targets that the world governments have filed with the United Nations, they result in a substantial increase in emissions of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases by 2030. And the scientists project that that leads to a global warming of 3.2 degrees C by 2100. Now, anything over 2 degrees C triggers runaway global heating and climate chaos. So anything above 2 degrees C is really kind of moot. But we have known for many, many years that at 3 degrees C of warming, all crops in all major food-producing regions, the yields will have declined below today's so-called baseline levels. So this is a wicked, wicked thing that our governments are doing, because they're not only doing nothing, most of the governments are pushing more fossil fuel extraction and more fossil fuel distribution. And that applies to my country in Canada. Of course, everybody knows it applies to the United States, but it applies to pretty well all the countries of the world. There are very few countries, I can count them on the fingers of my hand, who are seriously trying to address their emissions and get their emissions under control and get their emissions declining fast. The science tells us that our emissions have to go into decline by 2020 at the very latest. And we've always known for years that we can readily do that. The IPCC several years ago wrote a report on renewable energy telling us that we had more than enough renewable energy to replace all fossil fuel energy. So, the data, the incontrovertible data that the climate centers have been recording for years, strongly, strongly support the protests by people. And I don't know really whether the young people realize how bad it is. They may well know that global emissions of fossil fuel carbon dioxide increased last year, 2018, by almost 3%, a huge 2.7% increase. And they'd also increased the year before that, in 2017. And that is insane. That is completely, absolutely insane.